Welcome to the Agents of the Unexplained podcast. From a haunted abandoned asylum to Sasquatch lurking in the dark woods and watching you, and all things unexplained, here are the stories from outside our realm. With your host, Bill Rigby.
Good evening, everybody. Tonight, we got a special guest. Me and him started talking, I'm going to say a little over a year ago. And we became friends, and he's a paranormal cryptid researcher. He's a podcaster. Well, here, let me do his intro, which I usually just talk through these, but he made up a special one for him, and I like it.
Dave Weigert was born and raised in Baltimore, Maryland. His family has seen and experienced far more than most families with strange encounters and tragic moments. Dave, the youngest of 4 children and the only living sibling, went on to have many strange encounters throughout his childhood and adult life. At age 20 he began his journey to learn about the unknown. Dave has a background with Baltimore County Fire and Police, private security, bodyguard, bank security and security for a Baltimore sports team and other law enforcement agencies. Dave started the Maryland Paranormal Research Team in 2003 and closed the doors in 2016. He started Other Voices on the MPRT radio network along with a newsletter. From 2007 till 2016 he was the curator for the haunted Ramblewood Mansion. He hosted years of paranormal research and investigations at the location. Dave was also a mobile DJ for 35 years. Dave was a speaker at a number of colleges speaking about the paranormal to students. Dave founded the Maryland Bigfoot Research Team in 2018 and left it to a former member of MPRT. He now resides in Bucks County, Pennsylvania near his grandchildren. He has since founded the Mid-Atlantic Bigfoot Research Team. He currently hosts a podcast weekly called Bigfoot and Paranormal Encounters Podcast. Let's welcome Dave to the podcast. Dave Weigert was
Double click. But let me say this, okay? Dave, he's a special soul, him and his wife. They really are. And they got big hearts. They care about people. And they got different things going on in their lives too. But he's still out there. He's still trying to learn more like the rest of us. Let me bring him in. There he is. Hey, buddy.
Hey, Bill. How are you?
Great, brother. Great. Especially now since I got your ass on here. Finally.
Well, you know, you've been sick. I've been sick.
Yeah.
And maybe we need to find that pool with the alien cocoons in it.
Yeah, I'm telling you. Jesus. Way things going. Hello, Miss Linda Sigman. That's the thing. Life's been rough the last 2 years on us guys. It really has. But it comes with age.
Oh, it sure does. Yeah,
it sure does. But now, I'm going to start the hard-hitting questions.
Sure.
You up for it?
I'm up for it.
What you have for supper?
Oh, it's going to be a late one. I wanted to see if we get this podcast completely done before the storm really hits.
Yes, that's what we were worried about too all day, because they're supposed to be getting some super severe weather over his way, and I'm worried about him and his wife. I really am. And
you know what? I'll just have a bologna sandwich and a Dr. Pepper. How's that?
Da, 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 da.
There you go. See, I'm the only. Let me show you, Bill. I'm the only fool that drinks out of a tomato sauce jar. So, got to have my iced tea.
We won't go there. We won't go there. Back to the drinking day. I got to have that tomato juice. But no, seriously.
So
you're more into the paranormal than the cryptids. Am I right?
Well, I was. Gosh, I started when I was 20 years old. I just started picking up books, material, watching whatever I could watch on TV, sightings, unsolved mysteries, all that stuff. And I just stayed with it. In my, I'm gonna say younger years, it mentioned that my family has seen far more tragic uh, happenings than most families see in a lifetime.
Which we're going to cover some of them. I don't want to go too deep into it to get you worked over on
Yeah,
that stuff.
some of them are very emotional, but
Yeah.
some of them ended with very tragic. Some of them, worked its worked itself out. So, you know.
Let me give you an example why I don't want to dig too deep. And this keeps coming back to haunt me.
Mm-hmm.
I was like 13 and I get up for school that morning. I go downstairs and this dream I had. And I go, Mom, did Timmy get run over by a truck last night?
Mm.
She goes, no. Oh, that was a bad dream. That night he did.
Mm.
I still live with that. And for
Wow.
3 to 4 days afterwards, I would not go to sleep. I was afraid to go to sleep because I dreamed that might have another dream something happened to someone else we care about. And I end up blocking that stuff out. And I've been working with a couple people and they're trying to get me to, release that. So it's not just about the tragedy. It could be about good things too. I can see into. I don't know, but I'm still kind of nervous. And this has been 51 years ago. This happened.
Right.
And it still bothers me. So getting into something like that there with the tragedies that you dealt with over the years. If you don't want to talk about it, that's fine with me.
No. Some of the people that I've, spoken to about it, they just make comments like, do you think your family was cursed? No, of course not. I don't think my family was cursed. It's just that, well, let me put it this way. I don't know anyone, and I haven't spoke to anyone yet that has told me, both of my parents told me the night before they died that they were going to.
Okay. I can buy that one.
Yeah. So,
Yeah,
they knew, but both of them mentioned, they died, years apart. My mom went first at a young age of 52. And my dad, he lived to see 75. But, they both told me the night before they died that they, that night, the night before, they told me that they were leaving.
Yeah.
So, and I got, with...
That's kind of heartbreaking, but that's kind of understandable, too. They preparing you.
Yeah, with my mom, I had, went and seen her that, the night before and spent some time with her. And I went home. And at 7:00 in the morning, the next morning, the phone rang and I sat up in bed like the Undertaker, how he sits up.
Yeah. Yep.
I sat up. I knew what it was. And it was a phone call from the hospital. And they were letting my wife know that my mom had just passed on. Now, with my dad, the night before he passed away, he told me that he was going home with mom. And, I thought, that he was really, really upset because his sister had passed away 2 days before
right.
he did. So that week we had, and not only did we have to bury his sister, but I had to bury my father as well. And his
That's rough.
sister, that was the last of 7. He had 7 sisters,
Right.
and he was the only brother. So, um, he told me that he was going home with mom, that he wouldn't be, around the next day. And when I got up, he was. And I went into the living room, and he was at my house, and I said to him, I said, "Did you get something to eat?" He said, "Yeah, I've already had toast and coffee." And I said, "Where's Shar?" He said she had to go to work to do some payroll. She said she's only going to work like 2 hours and she'll be back home. He said, "You look rough. You look tired. Why don't you go to lay back down?" And he said, "If you want me to, I'll wake you up in an hour or 2 hours, however long you want to take a nap." I said, "Yeah, I'll go in and I'll just set the alarm. You don't have to get me up. I'll get myself up." I woke up 1 minute before the alarm was supposed to go off. And I remember putting my legs over the side of the bed, putting my house slippers on. And I said, just a quick thought that went through my mind was like, it hit me. It like smacked me. It was like, "Oh my God, Dad." So I got up, and when I went out in the living room, he was ice cold. He had passed away. So,
Hey,
there was no foul play or with either my
right.
mom or my dad. They just, I think my dad more or less gave up, and my mom,
Wanted to go.
mom suffered from kidney failure, blindness. She didn't lose any limbs or anything like that, but she was having respiratory problems, heart attacks, and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So,
Well, that's
but
like similar to my mom. She was living with my brother, and because 10% of her heart work and her lungs were shot, um,
mhm.
she sent JR, my nephew, upstairs to get my brother. And Chuck comes down and says, "What's going on?" She says, "Make the kids stay upstairs. Call me in an ambulance now. I don't want them to see me die." And Chuck went in a panic state, told JR, "Keep Melissa upstairs." Called 911, the ambulance came. He threw Teresa and the kids in the car, following the ambulance. Mom refuses lights and sirens. She always did.
Mm.
They went full tilt the whole way to the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
Lights and sirens, full tilt, boom. She died in the ambulance. She did not want the kids to see her die.
Right. Now going
And she
back to my
knew she so they know
right,
what's happening.
right.
And I can attest to that from 2 weeks ago. I knew
Mm-hmm.
I was dying, but they saved me there. So,
Right.
and it's a hard
Thank
thing
you. Good word.
to deal with, knowing that hey, I can't catch my breath. I'm fighting it. But when you get so tired and you decide you want to go home with your partner or whatever, it's a relief to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
It might be hard on the living, but it's a relief to yourself because you're so worn out. And I can understand that after what I was suffering, even though I still
Right.
put up the good fight.
Mm-hmm.
So, God bless your dad for fighting for as long as he did, and your mom. God bless them
Yeah.
both.
Well, when my dad's sister died, she died Christmas morning, and my dad died a few days after that. So, it was every time we lost someone, it was always rough. One of the worst month for my family is the month of August, and it's right around the corner.
Yeah.
Pretty much everything, even if it was a tragedy, but it worked itself out, it was always in the month of August. Now, I lost a brother and a sister before I was born. They both drowned.
Oh.
My grandfather had a shore home, and he was away. My mom and dad was at work, and my cousin was watching them. She was in and out of the house hanging clothes up, and it was a waterfront home. and they were out front playing with a beach ball, and the ball went in the water. My brother went in, and when he went in, it was next to a boatyard, the shore home. So he dropped under. My sister Ellen saw him go under. She ran into the water to try to save him, and they both winded up drowning. Now, my cousin come out of the house, and all she saw was the beach ball floating on the water. So she knew something was wrong. She yelled for the guy next door that owned the boatyard. He come over, went in the water, couldn't find him. They had Middle River Rescue Squad, go in the water, and they found them. When they found them, they were holding hands.
Oh, man.
So
Wow.
they were both put on life support, and they died a day apart. So,
wow.
And then, I lost my brother. I was only 13. That was in 1976 to a tragic automobile accident. He had just graduated. He was one hell of an artist. He was a musician, and he had just signed up for the Maryland State Police. And we had to bury him. But I won't go into great details. But with all these things that I'm telling you about, it was always associated with pain, agony. Some of it was angelic. Some of it worked itself out, and there was a lot. I'm writing a book. And the thing about this book is I started 8 years ago, and I've always had to stop and put it on the shelf and then start again.
Right.
And then stop and then start again. So I'm hoping in 2025 to get it out there. And because of so many things that have happened, all the stories are going to be in this book. I'm having a difficult time finding or choosing the right title for this book. So I just said to myself, I'm just going to finish the book, then I'm going to give it a title, because I have to really think hard about what I want to title the book. So,
well, that's the thing. I was going to say that. Write the book. The title will come.
Yeah. Bill,
I was going to say that. Holy shit. Good idea.
I watched my mother be electrocuted. She was sitting on a metal trash can. The trash can was up against a metal pole. There was one on the left and one on the right, which held up a A-frame over top of the porch. My dad and I were sitting on a wooden bench, and it had just stormed, and there was still some lightning in the sky. A bolt of lightning hit the pole behind her, came down the pole, went around the trash can. I saw green, I saw yellow, I saw blue, and I just saw her shaking violently. So my dad told me to get up, and he took the bench that we were sitting on, and he hit the trash can out from under her, and she dropped to the porch. So I said, Dad, if you can get her up, get her in the house and check her and make sure she don't have any, where it enters and exits. And
yeah.
So he took her in the house, but before we took her in the house, when we helped her up off the porch, she was looking at us and laughing. She was smiling. And I'm like, Mom, are you hurt? And she's like, wow, that was weird. I said, Dad, get her in the house. He took her in the house, and he come out and he said, Dave, I don't see no burnt marks on her clothes. She don't have any burns, nothing. When she came back out onto the porch, she was still smiling. I grabbed her by her elbow, and I walked her back, and I said, come on, we're going in the house. We're staying in the house. I don't never want to see something like it.
Oh my
I'm
God.
sorry. Like that again.
Oh my God. She's laughing
So,
about it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So, some of our tragic moments ended on a good note. Some of the things, some of the tragic moments, just ended tragically. So
Do you think that's what got you going with the paranormal? Is the tragic endings?
Yes. I was 13 when I lost my brother, and by the time I was 16, 17 years old, that's I was getting into it.
Yeah.
I was driving my mom's brother crazy. I was asking him question after question, because they all used to go ghost hunting.
Right.
They would load up the car and they would pick a spot to go to, whether it was a cemetery or whatnot. And so I always, my uncle, he was the first one that I would bother for the longest time. And he's like, do something else. You got plenty of time. Wait till you get older and then you can learn about that. I said, okay. So, like I said, I picked up, books, going to the library, materials, sightings, unsolved mystery, all the old paranormal shows. Now, in 2003 is when I became a paranormal investigator. Okay.
Right.
And I started going up and down the East Coast after I formed the Maryland Paranormal Research Team. I'm just going to read a few off. If you have any questions.
Before you do,
Uh-huh.
me and Dave talked about this in private chat a while back. And I'm like, wow, you covered the whole East Coast, basically.
Not the whole East Coast. I still have a bucket list, but yeah. So I'm just going to read them real fast. Eastern State Penitentiary. I sat in Al Capone's cell and did EVP work. Not many people had the privilege of doing that. Hillview Manor, Moundsville, West Virginia. Fort Mifflin, upstate New York, insane asylum. I've been on many of battleships. Fort Howard State Hospital, Penhurst, Bramblewood Mansion. I was there from 2007 to 2016. West Virginia Haunted Amusement Park, Todd's Farm, Gettysburg, Antietam, private and businesses. So I did all. Yeah. So
when you mentioned Hillview, I'm going to be speaking at HillCon this year, August 10th.
Oh, that place was awesome.
Oh, I can't wait.
Yeah. And there was a school I went to up in the PA area. I just can't remember the name of it, but there was a massacre on the property, and that's why the school was said to have been haunted. It was haunted. Got a lot of evidence out of there.
Linda Sigmund says, I also believe tragedy happens to some people in incredible amounts for a purpose. God chooses those people, and it should be considered a privilege. Why? Okay. So they can share what they learned, Linda? Or how would that be a privilege that puts someone through all that pain and agony? I don't know.
Well, you learn from everything. Everything you go through, you learn. I mean, that's how you grow. Choose not to make that mistake again, or So
that's really deep for me to think about right now. Thanks, Linda.
Bill, I should have died 3 times.
Yeah.
In my patrol car, I had an 18-wheeler on head on.
Oh.
At about 80 some miles an hour. And that, I'm not going to get into that one because I break down every time I talk about that one. It's very emotional, and I think
that's fine.
I believe that I was awakened or saved by my guardian angel.
I can buy that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I talked about it on Les Odell's.
Yes, you did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
the thing too, Dave, is like Linda says, I have a hard time wrapping privilege around that. But it helps us grow.
Right.
Tragedy helps us grow. Either make us grow or revert us backwards. And I'm not the type to step back.
Mm.
Uh,
So,
All right, here's what Linda says to this too for you, Dave. See, Dave is still here, but he can now share with us that our faith is made stronger. I go along with that.
yeah.
And, you know, I see my share of tragedy. I put myself in some positions that I shouldn't have, but to save others, I have. And it could have turned tragic. It didn't. And you heard my story, Dave, where I said I always thought I was superhuman, but once I saw that Bigfoot, I'm only human because the way it scared me, because I never got scared
Right.
before in my life. That situation made me realize I am human, not superhuman. I ran in the middle of a gang war. They'd pick a little kid up out of the street that was going to end up getting shot and running through a hail of bullets. And I mean a hail of bullets. And I wasn't scared. Seeing the Bigfoot, I got scared. Oh, now I'm scared. Wow, what's this? But yeah, you know, it's every situation in life, you got to choose which way you're going with it.
Mm-hmm.
And you chose to keep going straight.
Right.
I see that in you. I've seen that in, not just see it, but I've seen that in you. And you're a very determined person.
You know, the research that I'm doing now, you know, since 2018, I've been into Bigfoot a lot more. I actually took my paranormal boots and I hung them up. Now, when I was 16 years old, I was working for a place called ABC Rental, and I was working out in the yard, and I was making concrete for cement trucks. They would come in, and we would load them up, and then another truck would come in, and you know, same thing over and over. But the owners that I was working for were very disrespectful. So I said to my friend that I was working with, my best friend, I told him, I said, we got to find another job, man. And he's like, why? I said, because I don't like who we're working for. Well, there was a guy standing several feet away from me, and he says to me, he comes over and he says, is my order almost ready? I said, my buddy's working on it. He said, I heard you two talking, and you said you're not happy with your job. Are you guys looking for a new line of work? I said, well, what kind of work do you have? He says, I have a farm up in Fallston, Maryland. If you want to come up and you can work on the farm all summer, and, you know, I'll have to lay you off during the winter. Maybe not, but I'm pretty sure, well, you know, I'll have to lay you off in the wintertime and bring you back in the summertime. So I said, let me talk to him and see what he thinks. So I'm leading up to Bigfoot.
Yeah.
So I talked to my buddy, and he says, well, let's see what kind of money he's offering, and, you know, and we'll discuss it with him some more. So we figured out that we wanted to go up to Fallston, Maryland, and work on this farm. So we get up there, and I was, let's see, 16 or 17 years old. And anyway, we got up there. We arrived at the farm, and we're getting out of the truck, and we're grabbing our duffel bags, our clothes, and our belongings. And we go up these wooden steps, and we get up onto the deck, and we set our stuff down, and his wife come out to, you know, and the kids to meet us. We sat down because he told us that she was fixing some food, and we were going to eat soon. I said, okay. So we sat down. They went back in the house. And all of a sudden, my buddy gets hit in the back of the neck with a rock, with a pebble. Then another one. Well, the kitchen window was up, and he yelled. He was like, I ain't going to say it, but, you know, the F word, you know. Damn, that hurt. So, well, I'm sorry. So he heard the owner, his name was Bob, and he come out of the house with a rifle, and he cocks it, and he fires it up in the sky, and he goes, "Are them damn things bothering you?" And Ronnie looks at me, and he says, "What damn things?" He says, "Well, I might as well share with you now, because it looks like they're already being a nuisance, and they're probably going to bother you later on." I'm like, "What's he talking about?" He says, "I'll be right back." Oh, his wife took the gun out of his hand, took that back in the house. He goes in the house. He comes back out with a book. And he opens the book, the photo album, and he says, "You know what that is?" I says, "Yeah." It was a side profile of a Bigfoot.
Oh, my God.
Picture that he had taken.
Oh, my.
And he says, "What do you think?" And I said, "Well, it's not that good of a shot, but, it was a side profile." And I slid the book over to show it to my friend. Now, my friend, he didn't believe in ghosts. He didn't believe in Bigfoot, UFOs, or nothing. So he slides the book back over to me. He says, "Probably a bear."
Oh, my.
Yeah, that's what he said. And I remember our boss saying, "Bear my ass." He says, "I have a family of them that live on the farm, and they've been here for years. They even bother my neighbor up the road."
Oh, that's go. Oh, my God. I've been
So
having
we stayed
fun.
there. We stayed there, and there was many of incidents that took place on this farm. One afternoon, we were eating lunch. We were up on the deck, and I saw this tree going left, going right, going left, going right, shaking violently. And I tapped him on the arm, and he looks over and he says, "Probably a bear." I said, "Will you stop with the bear?" And then all of a sudden, an arm came out of the brush, out of the trees, and a hand. That's all I got to see.
Oh.
As soon as it came out, it went right back in.
Oh, yeah.
So me and my friend, are like, he's like, "Will you stop? There's no such thing as Bigfoot." I said, "Okay." So we would go out onto the deck at night to smoke. I smoked back then. And we would hear this thing scream. We smelt it. We were hit with rocks many a times. But that arm is the only thing I ever got to see. I have never seen a Bigfoot like I'm looking at you and you're looking at me. So I started my journey back in 2018, to pursue cryptids and Bigfoot and all that stuff. So when I go out there and do my research, I don't, you may not see me put anything on, online. If I get something, I'm either going to share it with somebody like you privately, or I'm going to put it out there. I don't want to be bothered with trolls. Oh, that's not a Bigfoot. You know where I'm going.
Oh, God. That's why I made my group private.
So I'm pretty much private when it comes to that. But I will share, my findings. But it has to be something that I'm pretty sure is worth sharing. I'm not.
See, when I take a report from somebody, it's their report. Mm-hmm. I'm just taking it.
Right.
I don't own it. They own it. If they want me to tell, so-and-so gave me this report, I will do that. Will I give the exact location? Hell no. I'll give general vicinity, like a 20-mile radius. I do not want these people going around, tramping through these people's properties, if it's private land, or even public land, disturbing what might be going on there. Mm-hmm. I hate that with a passion. People do that.
Right.
And Linda just asked, do you have them near your home?
The last sighting let's see, was almost a year ago, half a mile from me. Yeah. See, I live in an area that's mostly woods, farmland. Um, there was a fireman and his dad that had a sighting not too long ago, too, coming from the fire department. They said it crossed the road. It took like 3 steps. And I said, did it look at you? He said, no, it was side profile. It was about 9 feet tall. Had to be 800 to 1,000 or more pounds. Brownish red hair. And it just crossed over and then went up a hill. And that was the end of it. Now, I've tried to get this guy to meet with me and show me exactly, where this sighting took place.
Right.
But it got to the point where he was like, sir, I don't want to be bothered with it. The reason I don't want to be bothered with it is because my dad won't talk. Right. What good is my word if he's not gonna back me up?
Yep, and I can understand that. I really can. Mm-hmm. That's with my sighting. There's 2 people with me. One of them did see it. The other one was watching off to the left because stones or little nuts were getting tossed at us. Mm-hmm. Good evening, Dark Wolf. And Mike Goldsmith wants to know, my buddy Michael, Mr. Titanic himself. Mm-hmm. Any reports of them moving on all 4s? The Bigfoots?
On all 4s? No. Just upright and walking.
I've heard reports of them doing the spider crawl. Have I seen one do it? No, I only seen the one, and it wasn't spider crawling. Mm-hmm. There is reports of them doing that. Why? Probably stay low. But without witnessing it yourself, it's kind of hard to talk about. Say, yeah, they do. No, they don't. Or get enough other witnesses to step forward and say that. Mm-hmm. And you know that as well as I do, Dave. Because none of us are experts. We can't say sure what they do yet.
Right.
I can expertly say I saw one.
One of the things I got to start doing is when I go out to my carport, I don't take my phone or a recorder with me, and I should, because there's been several nights where I told my wife, I said, all right, my sinuses are acting up. I'm going to take this bag of trash to the trash can, and I've gone out there, and I've heard screams many a nights, but I'm never equipped with my phone.
Quit being lazy and take it with you.
Exactly. Because right across from my cabin, is a huge farm with a hill that goes up into it to tree lines all the way across. That goes into the woods for miles, and then there's another farm on the other side of that. So they're actually moving around from property to property. Now, I thought about putting a trail cam on my property because my property is huge, but is the trail cam going to work? They say they don't,
There's been some pictures of them on them, mm-hmm. but I got a problem with the placement of them. Okay. That's my problem with it. Everyone's trying to put it down like 6 foot high.
Okay.
Why? The infrared light's shooting straight out.
Straight out.
They'll see it.
I'm right here.
Yeah. So you go 15, 20 feet in the air. Angle that sucker in like a 45. To shoot out that way, downward angle. Instead of straight out where it's going straight through the woods, they could see it and circle around it. it's going downward, you might catch something. That's my philosophy on that one.
Right.
Linda, they mimic humans. They mimic birds. And yes, I believe they do mimic cows, horses, dogs. If you don't have a voice recorder, I will send you one. I want you to catch those sounds, please. Yeah, definitely owls. Owls. Oh my God, yes. The same night I saw my damn Bigfoot. Is that you humming, or is that on my end? Something just humming.
You might have heard a truck just go by.
Oh, okay. I'm filing in my van for tonight, which was probably about 3 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
About 4 a.m, damn owl start letting loose above my van. It was in the branch above my van, and another one across the campground. They start talking to each other. Talk about rolling me out of the van, saying, what? Same night as I saw mine. Oh, you did get owls on your phone? Oh, cool. Oh, I'll get you a voice recorder, Linda. You need one down there. Did you follow Linda Sigmund at all, Dave?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Linda Sigmund. You should follow her. She's out in the woods.
I do.
Yeah. She's out in the woods all the time. Her and her little baby. Constantly. And, you know, I got a lot of respect for that lady. She's out there. She really is. And I love it. I'm going to get down there and go out with them one of these days when I get healthy again. Get Les there with her. The old mountain goat, I call them. But yeah, be out with those guys would be awesome. Les came up here, and Jamie King ended up meeting up with us, and we got out. And those two walked me to death. Huh, let me tell you. But yeah, it was great being out with Les and Jamie at the same time. I got nothing but respect for both of them. You know, Jamie's been one of my mentors in this field of the paranormal cryptid and star search and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Jamie's very intelligent. Him and Jenny both. They got the greatest souls too. Les, one of the best researcher investigators out there today. Mm-hmm. And he doesn't get enough recognition for the way he researched. You probably heard his story where he says, he goes to the library, Googles, a lot of book research, and then he studies it all, takes a report, he figures out anything else that's happening around there. He does it all just to get the backstory, the whole 9 yards, make sure everything's coinciding, and it's awesome. I just wish I was just as good as him, or half as good as him with this stuff. And they just and Jamie and Jenny, they're out all the time. Actually, one of the areas they go to, they just found a body up there, and it's badly decomposed.
No, I did. I shared with Les. I told him, I said, I have family who have 524 acres up in the Appalachian in West Virginia. So in 2025, when I get myself in check, I got, like I said, I got to jump in that cocoon pool and come out of there breakdancing, and then I'm going to set something up. I told Les I would invite him up, and I'll, invite you, and and a few others. And
I'm game. I'm game. I'm all
yeah,
over that one. Yes.
my
Um,
nephew works out in that area. He likes looking for what do they call it? Ginseng,
yep.
the mushrooms,
The
uh,
morels. Yep.
right, and all that stuff. And there's been times where he's gone out there. He's gone out at night, and he's heard, you know, being followed. He's heard screams. Yeah, my his mom had a cryptid sighting as she was leaving the property and turning onto the road to go pick her boyfriend up from work one morning. It was actually chasing 4 deer.
Right.
And then there was another time
Oh,
where,
1 second. 1 second. I got to throw this in there.
uh-huh.
Dark Wolf, he says only recently he had come to realization that they have the ability to evade electronics and other kinds of surveillance. We will cover that. And I think Dave's on some of the same wavelength with that with me. And there's a possibility of the woo factor. I don't discredit none of that stuff, Dark Wolf. And I'll tell you why. Just because science didn't catch up to what's happening, so that makes it woo on that end. But now to the evade factor, the infrared eye. I believe their eyes can pick it up easier than human eyes. That's why they avoid these game cameras and stuff. And you're out in the woods. You got yourself a brand new game camera. Got a brand new battery in it. Just got it out of the plastic. What does it smell like? Plastic.
Yeah.
An oil scent. Does it belong there? Hell no, it don't belong there. That's the thing. We're stepping into their living room. They're going to know if something's moved or put there. It's not just so much electronic. And if you ever been to Salt Fork State Park, the group camp area, that is the movie theater for the young Bigfoots. They come and watch the people camping.
Mm-hmm.
And 2 years ago, near the end of summer, I walked the whole damn perimeter of the group camp area, and there was a trail that circled the whole perimeter where they walked, and you can see where they sat down in different areas to watch the people in there.
Hmm.
You can actually see it.
Right. Bill, when I go out into the woods to do my Bigfoot thing, I don't go really, really far into the woods. I'll go in far enough and I'll pick a spot and I'll sit.
Yes.
And then I will use, my parabolic dish, my recorder, other instruments that I have with me. Not only am I recording in front of me, but I'm recording behind me as well.
Smart.
Yeah. So, I try not to go too far into the woods because if I have to get out of there, I don't want to be way, way, way in the woods. You know what I mean?
I hear you.
I mean, I've heard of, the bluff charge and them chasing you out. And, I don't want to be way up in there if that ever happens. So.
All right. And then they just put something here.
Mm-hmm.
She was in the woods yesterday, came back toward home with a bag of rocks she collected. Got almost home, the bag broke, rocks fell out. I thought she picked them all up. When I got home, she was missing one. Oh, okay. I know who you are now. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate that. Uh, yeah. Hmm. Uh, I bet you were, Linda. Did you go back to see if you can find it? Uh, yeah, that, and you didn't find it. I bet you will within a week. It'll gift it back to you. Now, keep an eye out. You'll find it. It'll gift it back. And I heard, all right, Dave, I heard people leave red gems or blue gems. I heard they like the blue gems better than the red gem. Have you heard anything like that?
I've heard they like blue.
Whoa, 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 whoa. She laid them out on the porch, the ones she collected. And this morning, it was back.
Mm.
And with a piece of hematite on it. Interesting. Linda's son, this is him. He's late to the party. As always, he's always showing up late to the party. He likes that dramatic entrance. No. But he wanted to know, have you had multiple encounters and what is your most compelling?
Have you had multiple encounters? What is your most compelling? When he says multiple encounters, what is he referring to Bigfoot? Or,
yes.
Because I've seen UFOs as well.
Same here.
Yeah, over the, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. I've had 4 UFO encounters. My first one was when I was 13. As far as Bigfoot, the arm, that was the most interesting thing that happened to me back on that farm. But when I go out and do my research, I've heard the knocks, the whoops, all that good stuff. But multiple, I would have to say, just that, mostly like in one night. I've had times where I know it was there and it would leave and be gone for a while, probably circled and then came back. Yeah.
That's the thing. Now, I was at Corky's Research a couple years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And he took these little metal buckets. They were real small. Filled them with shelled peanuts. They were still in the shell. Then he hung glow sticks on the outside edge, 2 glow sticks, so you see it up in the woods when it got dark.
Mm-hmm.
And we're sitting there, we're BS, talking stories, listening, checking things out. It was just a get-together, a bunch of researchers. We're all sitting there and that. Jay Fouch, Steve, even Phil Bracco came, Tommy Cooper. There was a shitload of us. I had Jeff Weigert. It was awesome, because we're all talking about different experiences and different things and that. And I'm looking up on the hill. It's about 1 a.m. I see that one bucket going like this. I'm like, did that thing just move? Did it again. I'm like, that's moving. Then it did it the third time. Guys, the bucket that's on the very top's moving. Everyone jumped up. Jay grabbed his thermal. He's shining it up there. They're born. Yeah, it is moving. It's moving. On Jay's thermal, there were two sitting there grabbing peanuts out, eating the peanuts, watching us. Now that is crazy.
Yeah.
That is crazy. We were their entertainment. Dark Wolf, I'm very upset about that, buddy. I can't go. This stupid ass reason right here.
Hey, Bill, I
Second,
have I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was going to ask you a question. When it comes to Bigfoot, I'm mentioning this because I do this, and I keep a book, a journal. Whenever something pops up in my head, I'm 60 years old now. I got to write it down right away. Whether my hard drive just don't work like it used to. It's not as sharp as it used to be. But my question to you is this: do you think a lot from outside of the box when it comes to evidence of possibly being Bigfoot?
Number one thing I do,
mm-hmm.
and I tell people, think outside the box. But the first thing you got to do is debunk it.
Right. See, my NPRT members used to get mad at me when I would do that, and I'm like, "Why are you getting upset with me? You got to try to.
You got to prove what it is, and number one, the best way to prove what it is prove what it ain't.
Yep, you gotta recreate in many different ways. You got to try things.
Yeah, I got so upset with some people when everything's Bigfoot. I get so upset. I took a group of very inexperienced researchers out on an investigation. They were kind of thrown in my lap. Mary Fabian says, "Here, we're going to show them how to do an investigation. Take them with you, Bill." Basically what happened. And I'm glad I did. I really am, because I taught them how to look at things like tree breaks.
Mm-hmm.
And how they're twist, how the center might be rotted. That's why they broke.
Right.
Could have been weather, could have been another tree falling. X's, I don't buy a lot in X's till you find a 20 or 30 foot tree with the root ball in the air and nowhere where it got pulled out of the ground and flipped over. No. That one I cannot debunk. That's a damn good possibility that was one. I don't care what it is. Unless you see it happen, don't tell me that it did it.
Yeah, I just love you're not going to tell me you're any different. I know.
Yeah.
No, you don't know.
Yes. And I actually was at a thing that was basically put together so I can go investigate, but instead he decided to have a cookout and had like 50 people there. So how in the hell are you going to investigate the area? And it's 200 acres. But he did a cookout because I was coming, which is great. Well, he kept telling me this is all about Bigfoot this weekend here. Well, okay, that's great. It's all about Bigfoot. I'm not going out to investigate because I got too many people running around here drinking, eating, having a good time. And they're going to be camping right there. So we're sitting around a campfire talking. This one guy's walking up, tell everyone, Bigfoot jumps through portals. That's how I get from one spot to the other. And one guy says, "Really?" He says, "Yeah, I'm telling you." He's pointing at him like this. And the one girl that was sitting there, lady, me and her became pretty good friends, sweetheart of a lady. And her boyfriend at the time, they said, "You listening to this?" I said, "Yeah," and he's full of shit. And really? I says, "He ain't saying no proof. Where's the proof? He's just saying what he believes, and he's telling everyone that's the way it is, and that's the way it's going to be." 15 minutes of this. Finally, I stood up and said, "Excuse me." They jump through portals. He goes, yeah. Have you seen a portal? No. I says, have you seen a Bigfoot? No. How do you know they jump through portals then? Well, how else do they get around? I said, how about their own 2 damn feet? He goes, no, they do that too. I says, but you're trying to tell me that's how they get around, but you never seen one. You never seen a portal. You know what? Why don't you shut your damn mouth and trying to put your beliefs on someone and just say, this is what you believe. Don't try to convince me because you ain't no damn politician. Right. And the dude hit me and says, yes, he is. I'm like, oh, shit. Okay. And I said, so just sit your ass down, quit pushing your belief like it's gospel, because it's not. There's not a damn expert out here, and I'll be damned if you're going to try to act like you're one when you're not. He sat down off to the side, and he goes, the guy that put the cookout on, come up and says, he's Armstrong County Commissioner. I don't give a damn who he is. He ain't no damn expert. And I'm thinking, oh, shit, I just pissed off a county commissioner. I'm not going to be allowed in this county soon. But
yeah, well,
yeah, I don't care. You don't have the proof. Don't tell me that's what they're doing. I get angry, very angry.
I've had some members leave over the years because of me being that way. Yeah. Not like you were explaining about the guy, but
that's the only time.
How do you know this? Did you see this happen?
Yes, exactly, exactly. And if we seen it happen, if I seen it happen, I'm going to tell you. I tell you exactly what I saw when I saw that one.
Bill, I've had several people tell me over the years, Dave, you're too serious. You got to loosen up a little bit. No, I'm not going to loosen up.
No, why should we loosen up? I have fun doing what I'm doing.
Right.
I enjoy.
But when you're right, you're right. When you're wrong, you're wrong.
Yeah, and I admit when I'm wrong. And am I against the woo factor? No. Am I for it? No. I don't know. I don't know enough to go one way or the other with it. What I presume what I saw when it walked away from me was flesh and blood. I presume. I didn't ask to do a DNA test. It might have stuck around. I don't know. But I wasn't sticking around. But,
yeah, like, can you come back and pick me up with your spaceship?
Yeah. But you still got to be open mind to the paranormal end of it.
Exactly.
Keep that damn open mind. Debunk what you're looking at, if you can. Don't play that simple shit. I know what it is. No, you don't.
That's right. Pick it apart. Pick it apart many a times.
Man, I still pick my brain apart about what I saw. Still trying to debunk myself, and I can't do it because I know what I saw, and it was right there, 15 feet from me. So, this is what I presume is flesh, but I'm not going to say it is. I can't. But I can't say it was right there. I believe the world needs DNA. I don't, because I know they exist. But the world needs it to prove it. And I hate that part. Do you agree with that?
I do. Let me ask you this. How far off do you think, well, I mean, you can't really give me an accurate answer, but for many, many years, when it came to UFOs, the government was keeping a lid on that, and
they still are.
Well, no, yeah, but I think we're starting to see a lot more than we used to with UFOs. Do you think that's going to change with Bigfoot?
Not too soon.
Not too soon. Okay.
Not too soon. No. The amount of stuff the government released about UFOs so far, That's it. They got so much more info on it.
Right.
I know a gentleman from the eastern part of the state. He's a doctor now, and I believe he's a county commissioner there too. And he worked in the Pentagon. Believe it or not, in the Pentagon, not only do they have the Office of UFOs, or UAPs as it's called now,
Yeah.
screw that, they had an Office of Bigfoot. Did you know that? Office about Bigfoot. And Linda, you're right, 110%. Too many possible regulations for them to acknowledge Bigfoot's existence.
Right.
The lumber industries, the strip mining that they're doing on government land. Oh, I'm so pissed about that. Stuff like that. They have to stop. Look what they did with the spotted owl. But you're right. And Linda, I can understand them calling you a space cat because you're blonde. They don't consideration of how smart you really are. She saw Mothman. Dave, she saw a Mothman.
A Mothman. Okay.
Yes. And she gets called a space cadet for it. I got broad shoulders. I don't give a shit what they say about me. I know what I saw. I talk about what I saw. If you don't like it, walk away. And if you don't believe me, don't believe me. Turn the air up. You're getting hot.
Yeah. I turn it up. I turn it down. It's called a mini split, and I'll tell you what, it could freeze me out of here.
Yeah,
sometimes.
Those things are nice. But you know, Linda, I catch everyone calling you a space cadet. I'll lay their asses out verbally. You know, I hate people doing crap like that. I really do. That just burns me. And I always grew up as a protector, and I still do that. I got to catch myself at times because I catch people, doing something to someone, but they're doing it in fun. And I only caught part of it, and I'm ready to snap on them. It's just.
I don't know. I don't let no one get to me, when it comes to, the ridicule.
Yeah.
Nope. Don't have room for it.
No. Oh, and I got to do an advertisement. Oh, shit. Been at it an hour, and I forgot to do the ad. So here, let me do this now. Okay. They're ranked number 2 right now. They're almost to number 1. That's right, people. Dr. Pepper. The number 2 soda / pop in the country. Dr. Pepper is it. Thank you. I'm probably going to get in trouble with Dr. Pepper now for doing that.
We got to make you a Bigfoot holding Dr. Pepper. Gotcha.
Yes. Oh, shit. I had to. Oh, wait a minute.
You drink Diet Dr. Pepper? Or?
Does it look like I need a diet?
No. They say it's better. They say it's better for your health, but then you got the doctor. There was a doctor that came in my wife's room when she was being released after that massive heart attack for 52 days. She was in the hospital.
Yeah.
When the doctor come in, he said, "Miss Weigert, I wish you well, and when you go home, do me a favor." And then he put his hand behind his back, and he looks at my wife and he says, "Don't drink no soda." And then he pulls his hand out from behind his back and starts drinking a regular Coke.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
I know at the hospital, in the refreshment place on our floor, there was always a Dr. Pepper in the fridge for me. I was out, and the one girl went down, brought some in the next morning. She said, "Bill, I got a Dr. Pepper in the fridge for you. You was out last night." I said, "My son-in-law brought me some up." She said, "Oh, okay, good." And she said, "But it's in the fridge. Don't worry."
Here's something funny. When I was in the hospital, I told my doctor, I said, what is it with them? I said, I can't get them to get me any snacks. And he says, well, you're not supposed to have it. So he left the room, and he came back, and he hands me a Ziploc bag of chocolate chip cookies. So then the next day he comes back in to check on me again. He gives me another bag of chocolate chip cookies. I said, you can't keep doing this. But I
was very fortunate. I had a good medical staff there at Jameson Hospital in Newcastle, the 2200 floor. My wife knew I was in bad shape. She's the one who insisted me going to the hospital Sunday night, and I wouldn't go. I didn't have the energy.
You got to stay out of there, Bill. You can't go back for a while.
Oh, I'm not going back for a long while. Turn around. I told her I'll go to urgent care in the morning. Urgent care don't open at 8, at 7 o'clock. I said, I'm going to the ER. She says, you're going to be there all day. An hour from an urgent care. I says, my oxygen level's down to 79. I coughed up a little bit of blood. I'm going to the ER. I go straight to the ER. I sign in. They send me out in the room to sit. Finally, they triaged me, sent me back out the room to wait. I waited 2 minutes, and I went up to the window. I said, get somebody out here now. I says, I can't breathe. I'm going down for the count. You're going to be picking me up off the floor. She hit a buzzer. 3 nurses were out there. They come running out. And she goes, he can't breathe. They snagged me up, took me right in the back. Boom, 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 boom. One thing right after another, x-rays, blood work, the whole 9 yards. Doctor come flying back in the room with the picture of the x-ray. He says, this is your right lung. I went, where is it? He says, behind that big cloud. You're full of pneumonia. We're transferring you to Jameson. They got the better facility to work on you there for this respiratory. Whatever. Get me there. By the time you got me to Jameson, my oxygen level was at 73%. The doctors came rushing in there as they got me into the room, started checking everything. And he's looking at all the papers. He's seen the percentage. He says, you'd be dead by tonight. Good thing you're here. You'll be dead by tonight. I'm like, I'm going to die tonight? Full flow oxygen, antibiotics, steroids. They were nailing me with everything, like right now. And they saved my life. They did. I'm very fortunate to be here, be able to pick on you once in a while, Dave. Yeah. And so I can still do my research. And even though it's kind of I got to do it from my chair here right now. And I hate that part. I love to be in the woods. But like with Linda, I'm always checking her page out during the day because she's always getting out there. Along with a few others, they're getting out there, and so I can live through that till I get better.
Just don't be a hardhead. You got to do it for your love.
Yes.
Remember, you got to take care of you, and you got to take care of her. So
yeah, that's right, and that's what I kept saying. Before I was able to get any more extra air in my lungs, kept saying I got to stay alive for Beth. She needs me. Beth needs me. So, so I'm going to sit here and do my stuff here on the computer, take in reports, send people out on investigations if needed, stuff like that. I got a lot of good friends that are investigators.
For a while, you could be a quarterback in that chair.
Yeah, and that's what I'm going to do. Because I'm telling you what, next year I'm not going to be going to no damn hospital and not able to go out and enjoy the woods with my solitude. I'm not doing
No airlifts.
I did that live going from Federal Hospital to Jameson, telling people, don't message me, don't call me, I'm not answering. I said, I'm in bad shape. I need my rest. I need the medicine. I'm not talking to you. People don't listen. I did answer a few. I'm going to tell you the truth. I did answer a few of the messages, but
Right.
most of them I did not. I just blew them off. It's like, I'm dying here, folks. You don't understand. I'm really dying. Leave me alone. Let me die or let the doctor save me. Don't bug me.
Right.
That's what I kept saying to myself.
They don't let you sleep anyway.
Between 1 and 3 in the morning. And
Blood draw.
3 o'clock. 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock. My medicine at 1. Wake me up at 3 for blood draw. I can go to sleep from 5 to 6. And they're doing reports waking you up. Or the doctor's sneaking in.
Right.
From 10 to 11, you can take a nap. I was there 9 days. I know I had a schedule so I can get some rest. That I'm like, wow. They were kind of late with my meds. I said, is everything okay out there on the floor? You're late. I'm watching the clock. What else can I do? I got IV in this arm. I got monitors on here. Can't go far. So, yeah, I watched the clock. I knew what was going on. But, yeah, very interesting. Very eye-opening. I was bad before when I got life flighted, but not this bad. So I'm very fortunate to be here right now. And I'm thanking God and the ones that took care of me.
Yeah.
But anyhow, let's get off that subject. I'm going to get emotional. I hate getting emotional.
Right.
But, with the different paranormal and cryptid stuff that you and me both seen and witnessed and experienced, there's so many different stories to add to those. Like, with Linda's story, Mike Goldsmith's story, I think somewhat what he saw in that. Different ones got their stories, and you start putting them together, things start adding up.
Right.
And that's what I love about this. Things start adding up, but it's a slow add. That's the only bad part. It's a slow add.
Yeah.
Now, a couple nights ago, there was all kind of UFO activities happening. I started getting messages from Du Bois at 1 a.m. about it. Westmoreland County had a bunch. Washington County. Fayette County. Over in Ohio, Canfield, Ohio. What do you think caused them to ramp up that one night?
I don't know. I follow several town papers, and a while back, there was a lot of UFO activity over a body of water near a hospital. I can't remember the name of the hospital, but a nurse had stepped out to smoke in an area where they're allowed to smoke. And she saw one up in the air near this body of water. And she called her husband on the phone and she said, "Hon, tell me what you see. You should be able to see it because you're not far from me." And he was able to see it. So then after that, there was report after report after report, and then it just died off. So, it's active for a while, then it dies off, then it's active again. So,
now there's like up around Kinzu. Excuse me. There's a lot of UFO, paranormal, and cryptid activity. Someone did see a UFO come out of the lake up Kinzu Lake. Now that's a deep enough lake. I believe that could happen.
Mm-hmm.
Do I know for a fact? No.
Right.
Other man-made lakes, UFO activities. Do they follow the body of water? Because it's going to be 2 years this Christmas. So it was a year and a half ago, Christmas time, there was a UFO flying over Sharon along the river.
Mm-hmm.
3 different eyewitnesses from 3 different angles of this town saw it, that reported it. Other ones wouldn't say nothing. So does the water have a meaning to it? Does water got meaning to it? Do you know anything like that?
I don't know. It's just like I have a lot of people ask me, do you think Bigfoot is associated with aliens? Well, there are reports that right after a Bigfoot sighting, there's usually a UFO sighting.
Right.
Like around the
Chestnut Ridge.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, that's not something I can.
We can't
honestly give
say
a good answer for. Yeah,
no, we can't. Neither one of us. And I've heard it. You've heard it. Other ones heard it. How true is it? Don't know.
Now, if a UFO lands and a Bigfoot comes walking down the steps out of it, then I can answer it.
Linda says there's supposed to be a UFO crash in the Ohio River near the bridge near Ironton. Years ago.
Okay. Yeah.
I remember something about that, but I don't remember. I'm going to have to check into that more. Mm-hmm. I remember someone saying something about that a long time ago. Get a hold of Fred Saloga. He should know.
Is he back in the hospital?
No. He's out. He was in for the one day.
Yeah, I just...
Yeah, he made that post. He says, move over, Bill Rigby. I'm taking over. Jesus Christ.
I just finished up his book, and I think one of the funniest things he ever said, he was referring to a female Bigfoot that had boobs like a bloodhound's ears. Did you read that book? Oh, my
God. I didn't finish the book. I did not finish the book.
Yeah.
That's Fred. That is Fred.
That's fun. That's funny.
He shoots from the hip. He shoots from the hip, and he don't care if you like it or not. I love the man. I love him. Oh, shit. But I love the part, move over, Bill Rigby. I'm taking over. The hospital shit. That's how I had to call him. And it's like, what's going on, dude? I love Fred. He's another one of my mentors. Gotta love him. But anyhow, it's going on 8:24. I need to go in and get more meds in my system, as much as I hate it. Mm-hmm. Or we can talk for another hour, and I don't have to take my meds. No.
I gotta eat, Bill.
Sorry about your luck. No. I don't want to take my meds. Stay talking. No. Yeah, you do.
Stay talking.
How's the weather so far? Calm down?
Well, the lights ain't flickering. I got the door shut. Usually the internet will go in and out if it's real bad, and it hasn't done so. So
that's good.
Thank the good Lord. Yeah.
Yes. Good. Just stay safe, brother. That's all I'm asking.
It misses us sometimes.
That's a good thing.
Something was coming in though, but wherever Gwendolyn was, man, it was like raining cats and dogs.
Yes, it was. I saw that thing, and she needs a break.
Yeah, we were supposed to get high winds, damaging winds, floods in certain areas, and a possible tornado. So
yeah, hopefully, it totally missed you. But anyhow,
you'll see me flying through the sky with my boom mic, holding on to it.
hey, as we're flying through here, the weather's not so nice. Oh, jeez. I can see you doing that, David.
Right.
Oh, my God. As bad as me doing that. Doing a live from the other side. Yes, I passed away. But you know what it looks like over here. Stay tuned.
I'm taking my boom mic with me.
Yeah. Oh, my God. But all right. Hey, folks, thank you for listening. David, thank you so much, brother.
You're very welcome anytime.
Give the wife a hug for me. She deserves it.
You do.
And honestly, people, him and his wife got the biggest hearts. They're great people. And I will talk to you all soon.
This has been an Agents of the Unexplained original podcast. Like us on Facebook, subscribe and view on YouTube, and please visit our store link in the bio. Thank you for listening, and remember that